AI is only as powerful as the platform it's built into. That's why it's no surprise that more than 85% of the Fortune 500 use the ServiceNow AI platform. While other platforms duct tape tools together, ServiceNow seamlessly unifies people, data, workflows, and AI, connecting every corner of your business. And with AI agents working together autonomously, anyone in any department can focus on the work that matters most. Learn how ServiceNow puts AI to work for people at ServiceNow.com. Hey everyone, welcome to Quick Serve, brought to you by ServiceNow. At long last, Zverev wins his major. Props to Cobolli. Long couple of weeks. Obviously, a weird last 4 or 5 days with the default from Arnaldi, and then today's match. I feel like there were a couple of different themes here. And one, props to Zverev for getting through. I know what some of the knee-jerk reaction is going to be. He didn't have to play so-and-so and so-and-so. I don't care. Wasn't the prettiest final that's ever been played by either player. I also don't care about that. All you can do, listen, the goal is pretty simple, irrespective of any other factors in a Grand Slam. You have to win 3 sets, 7 times, over 14 or 15 days. And you have to beat the rest of Earth to do it. That's what Zverev did today. As we break down this match specifically, it felt like there was the X's and O's matchup, which I thought presented itself mostly in the first set. I think this is a good matchup for Sasha. And I'll explain kind of why and what the adjustments were by Cobolli. But as this match went on, I think it was that, your X's and O's, what your options are. And then I think a fair bit of it was Zverev playing against his own history and the manifestation of nerves in a body. 9 double faults, and a lot of them are passive double faults. But props, man, like, you stick in there, we could all see it. Like, you could all see it. We all know the history. It was no secret. To regroup after losing that 4th set, and he looked like he was cooked physically, by the way, at the end of that 4th set. To recover and just get it done, however it looked, however it took shape. He's a Grand Slam champion. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame. His counting stats stack up against a lot of Hall of Famers that are in. My vote will be for him immediately. Also, like, an undertold story. How about someone being a type 1 diabetic and winning a 5-setter to win a major?
Yeah.
It's not nothing. Not something he kind of uses for any sort of sympathy or goodwill. Not easy. My father-in-law is a type 1 diabetic, and managing that is no easy task. There are just so many parts of this where I can talk about the match and the matchup and the fact that, I don't think it was the best tennis we've seen from either player, and it doesn't matter. Sinner goes out. The entire conversation on the men's side then becomes, can Zverev get it done? And if anyone is picking apart the way he got it done, then get a life.
Yeah.
Right? We're not talking about anything personal. We're not talking about the quality of a match and the fact that we've become accustomed to guys playing perfectly. Don't care. The pressure set that was on his shoulders as soon as Sinner loses. I mean, he tried to deny that it was something that was weighing heavier on him during the tournament. I call bullshit.
Yeah.
That had to feel like a mountain. And he did it. He simply got through with less than his best stuff, which some people criticize. I'm going, man, it was always going to be less than the best. But you have that much scar tissue. The 2020 U.S. Open final was rough. Like, both guys just kind of trying to get across the finish line. And then he's gotten beaten finals. Like, he lost to Alcaraz, but he didn't lose. I mean, I understand he didn't win, but he didn't give that away. So I don't know. I'm relieved for him. I can't imagine what he's been carrying with him for that long. And it was to the point where, I think because of nerves, it was hard for him to go after a forehand. Because of nerves, it was hard for him to put a second serve up the register like he's been doing. He didn't make any first serves in the fourth set breaker. Now, is that physical, mental? I think the mental manifestation of nerves affects the physicality and your energy reserves. No doubt. He can play 3 hours and 20 minutes. We've seen him do it a million times. To get through all of that, well-deserved. Not going to sit here and tell you it's the best tennis we have ever seen, and it doesn't matter. Well-deserved, well-earned. You feel like he won this Grand Slam over 10 years and not 3.5 hours.
When you see the list of other men that, had dropped their first three Slam finals, it's guys like Lendl, Murray, Agassi,
Goran.
I mean, they then went on to win, 8-3, 1. Is there a possibility of this opening up the floodgates for him, or I mean, it's not like he's in his early to mid 20s.
I don't know. I mean, don't care for him.
Yeah,
like Operation Win a Slam has been his life for 10 years. Check. Right? I didn't know if we'd see it, honestly. Like I really didn't. Does this, and I hate talking about what's next, like and not like living in his moment, but we'll go there. Does this change the matchup against Jannik that is hard for him? I don't think so. I don't think he's losing to Jannik because he's tight about winning a slam. How does that manifest itself in Madrid? I don't think it does. I think it's simply that matchup is really hard for him because, and we can go through the X's and O's here in a second. Does it make him better day in, day out than Carlos when he's healthy? I don't think so. I don't know if he would tell you that. I hope for him he gets a sense of freedom now. I hope that he opens it up. I remember a similar conversation going on when Sergio won the Masters. When Sergio Garcia finally broke through and won the Masters, right? Oh, now he's going to swing free. And he doesn't have to play a matchup against a certain person, right? It'd be like Sergio having to go and play his best golf on his least favorite course. And that be the expectation because he won a major. I still don't think that's likely. Will this forever give him a sense of freedom if he loses something? Yeah. Will it be a little happier the day after a loss in a semis or a final? Yeah. Will it be a little bit easier to navigate? Let's say he is in a slam and he is up 2-1 and he is in a fourth set against Carlos or Jannik specifically then. Yeah, I think it's a little easier when you got one in the bank. That being said, it's like I can speak. I won one and didn't win one again. I was way more nervous in my last Wimbledon final because I didn't honestly know or believe if I would get back there. Right? So that one was tough. Then you become obsessed with given tournaments. I think this was the one that maybe made the most sense. Does this make him better on grass next week? No. Does it free him up? Yeah. But I think it'll free him up generally. I don't know that it affects the matchup, the X's and O's against certain players.
Yeah.
This was a good matchup for him against Cobolli. We talked about would he be able to take away that kick serve and +1 combo? That was gone after the first set.
Yeah, you were texting us about that.
That was gone. He took that away straight away. He was able to get, so I was texting with someone and I said, listen, there's a difference. I had a weak left hand on my backhand, right? What does that mean? It means I couldn't get around the outside of the ball to pull it with pace cross. I would poke it. I would knock it down. There were other ways to kind of navigate it. But off of like a mondo kick that Cobolli was dealing with, I was trying to knock it down. I wasn't firming it up. Zverev, as well as anyone in the world, can stand way back, find direction, depth, and pace while flighting it safely cross court. Cobolli was finding no +1 forehands in that first set. Like, I'd love to see the metric of how many forehands he was getting off of that combo for the rest of the tournament versus the first set. Just on matchup, stock game versus stock game, there weren't a lot of places where Cobolli was getting easy points based on what he likes to do. The serve +1 with the forehand. Once he gets a hold of a forehand, it's hard for him to, it's hard for someone else to break that cycle and get it away from it, right? But Zverev, as much as anyone, was able to find the backhand with Cobolli. I think he had success, and we talked about this, bruising Cobolli early on to that forehand side. Like Zverev, the what I wish we would have heard during this telecast a little bit more is everyone knows, okay, Sasha's forehand, he'll miss it when the chips are down a little bit, and it's not his best shot. His backhand's world class. Okay. It goes a little deeper than that. It's not just good forehand, bad backhand. Bad forehand, good backhand. Sasha is able to pump it cross court way more than from the middle of the court trying to like negotiate it line and or inside out. If he hits a winner inside out, it's because the opponent has to respect him pulling it inside in. That's where he can actually create pace. Is either from the forehand corner cross court or when he runs around pulling it to the forehand. That's how he sets up kind of the weaker option for him. But if it's up here from the forehand side, up out of his zone, and he tries to like flatten it out line, it's hit or miss, right? So it's all patterns. It's not as if, it's not like I'm just going to play his forehand and that'll be good enough. It's like play his forehand, but it's got to be up. I'm going to have to defend his forehand to my forehand. And that's what makes the Sinner matchup for him so hard, is that he hits that over there and Sinner just goes rip city. Alcaraz just goes rip city, and they can play the dropper. One of the shots that changed this match was Cobolli he stopped trying to go toe-to-toe. He started mixing in drop shots, so therefore Sasha couldn't just settle back and play his stock game that he likes to play. Driving backhands, hitting it both ways, pinning someone here, waiting for the forehand, and then switching it. When you have to do a drop shot, or when you have to account for at least the threat of something, and how does something become a threat? You have to flash it a couple times if you're Cobolli. So him flashing that drop shot a little bit, if it makes Sasha have to take a step or two inside whenever Cobolli has time, it changes the pattern. It changes where everyone's positioned. Like someone playing bad tennis like Cobolli played in the first set, 3 winners, 16 errors, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. It's not because he doesn't know how to play tennis. It's not an accident. It's because what Zverev is doing has taken him out of his game. Is Cobolli nervous? Yep. You know what makes you more nervous? When you know you're getting zero payout from your stock offering. The kick that you like to hit, first ball forehand, and then you got them and they don't get out of it. When that is not working, yeah, it manifests itself in a little bit of panic, a little bit of nerves, right? He started mixing in the drop shot a ton. We didn't see a ton of them in the first set. He started mixing up the height of the ball for minutes at a time, and Sasha would miss, and then he would kind of bait him and leave that ball that we're talking about open, and Sasha dumped a couple. Mm-hmm. Then got nervy. Sasha's forehand is rarely nervy forehand to forehand. It does get nervy, like all of us do when we're hitting our one of our least favorite shots under pressure. So what do you try to do if you're Cobolli? How do I promote that shot more? And he did a good job getting back in it. He started flattening out the first serve. You didn't see a lot of kicks anymore. And he actually served pretty well for a couple sets. Served badly, horribly in the 5th set, and gave Zverev a lot of looks at second serves, and he was able to break. And, it got away from him to the point where, Zverev wasn't stress test in the 5th set. Serving up one break when you kind of have had double faults re-enter the conversation, way different. I mean, Sasha really kind of buttoning up, realizing how important a double break was for him in that moment, the way he was feeling, nerves settling in. That was the entire ball game. Getting that second break, and then he saved a break point, like saving a break point up 2 breaks, saving a break point up 1 break when you've just been on serve and given away 2 service games, which I'm sure he would tell you he did. Mm-hmm. First game of the 4th was ugly. It's like, oh gosh, let's white knuckle this thing home. And to his credit, he gripped that wheel and white knuckled it home.
Yeah.
Wasn't easy, wasn't pretty, definitely wasn't a straight line. But he got it done, and he beat the rest of Earth over these 2 weeks.
Incredible.
Yeah, I mean, it's just well deserved, and people are going to say, final is, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you play great. It doesn't matter if you play badly. It's a results-based business. Mm-hmm. It's just the way it is. And we really care about playing badly during the tournament because we want to play better because we know we need to in the later rounds. He did what he had to do. Got through, eyes of the tennis world on him. The criticism he gets if he loses this match or any of them along the way, dude.
I mean,
and not for nothing, right? Like if he doesn't, I can't come in here and defend it if the draw completely opens up and he doesn't deliver. And he, he's right. I'm my best player in the world outside of these two guys, and he said it. Two things can be true, but if this gets away from him, it's hard to come in here and say he didn't just let it go, mentally and physically and with nerves and everything else. Pass-fail course, he passed. He passed. He will never again for the rest of his life not be a Grand Slam champion. That's it. It's going to be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
How it goes from here on out, I don't know. You know what it doesn't change? Doesn't change that he's on the verge of 600 match wins, which not a lot of people have done, by the way. Like, I don't know how many. There's like low 20s, mid 20s, something like that. Like
I think it's 29, something like that.
I mean, less than 30 people ever that have won that volume of matches before we even get to slams. I mean, there's no reason why he can't get to 700 wins. He's got 555, 6, something like that. He crossed 550 early in this tournament. 2 World Tour Finals wins. 7 Masters 1000, something like that in that ballpark. All different surfaces. 3 Grand Slam final losses. Roland Garros champion. He's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. I mean,
you compare that resume to mine minus the 1 ranking, which is just a matter of when people are putting points on the board. Goran, Noah, Cheng. He's in.
He's in.
Thanks for listening to Served. We will be right back. Chuckers, we're coming up on our big trip to London, and as we all know, the tour schedule is relentless. Travel isn't always easy for the fans either. All across the globe, tennis fans are watching the tour calendar and draw releases to plan their dream trips. Here at Served, we're still planning our itinerary in London, but at least we locked in the most important part. Our home for the tournament, which we found on Airbnb. Fans like me will be looking for a home away from home over the next few months. Whether it's next door to us in London or later this summer in Montreal, your home could be worth something right now to fans around the world. So become part of the story. You can list your space on Airbnb, give those fans exactly what they're looking for, and even make some extra money while you're at it. Your home might be worth more than you think. Find out how much at airbnb.com/host. All right, back to the show.
Our stat of the day, brought to you by ServiceNow, is that he's the first German man to win a major since Boris Becker, and the first to win Roland Garros since 1937.
Oh, that's a big stat.
It's pretty incredible.
Yeah, I mean, it's a long time coming. Listen, sometimes you get shot out of a cannon. Raducanu won one before Zverev. A lot of people have won it, Different paths. Doesn't change his resume.
Yeah.
Meaning like what he did before. This was it. This was the entire thing. I've said it on the show before, but it's worth mentioning again. I talked to him in December. And I don't know him from anything. I've said hello. He's always been friendly. He likes our show. I didn't know what to expect from the conversation. I think he's been polarizing at times during his career. One, I've had a lot of players reach out about different opportunities and stuff, and it always goes through like an agent or a second person. And these are people like 40 in the world. It's like, just call me yourself. Like, he got my number. I think it was from Isner, and just sent me a text and said, "Hey, can we talk? In the next couple of days?" I said, "Tomorrow's great." We talked for an hour and a half about just picking brains, tennis, and he knew. I didn't have to like say it, and he established the fact that anything was in bounds conversationally. I was allowed to. He said first, I completely choked the 2020 U.S. Open final away. You know, and now I'm like, I don't want to hit a kick serve. I want to hit bombs. So he's found a way around a lot of these stress tests. And he said, it didn't end up being that way, but it doesn't change the fact that he knew the reality that the rest of us did. He said, I know I'm going to be defined whether or not I can beat these guys on a Friday and a Sunday to win a major. And it's going to be that or this. There's no room for nuance with how my career will be digested. And I want to figure out how to get to the finish line. You know, we talked for an hour and a half, and he was amazingly honest. I don't know if that's because, you know, I've also wanted to win Grand Slams and come up short. I don't know if there was a level of, I don't know, but he was asking great questions, was completely open to feedback. Now, then it goes through a filter. I can think something, he might not feel it, but he was so open with what I like to do, what I struggle with, and it was all the things that we mentioned. A lot of us live in denial. I was actually really pleasantly surprised at the conversation. I really enjoyed it. And also, I thought to myself, okay, the first step of acknowledging any problem is, or the first step of solving any problem is what? Acknowledging it. I got tight. I choked that away. I have a hard time doing this. That's the first place that you can start fixing something in a big way. Now, I don't know if he was always like that. You know, there's been a rotating crew of people and great names who have tried to help. Ferrero, Lendl, we're talking big minds. You know, but when I talked to him during the offseason, clear as day what he thought about his career. He knows how good he was. He also knows what was missing. I'm happy for him that he had this moment because it was like a lesson in sports. It's not always a straight line. Doesn't always matter how it looks, how you get there. But you cannot take accomplishment away. He's never going to lose this. Never going to lose it. I don't give a shit who he had to play. Doesn't make it less of a Roland Garros win.
Yeah.
Takeaways?
I mean, I think it's to think about his age, right? He's going to come in next year as defending champion and he'll be 30 years old, right? And I think there was only so many more windows of opportunity he was going to get, especially given the star power that we've seen and physical ability of the guys that are coming up I think beyond just the big
I think
two.
That's more important piece than being 29 because people have played extended careers. His body still looks good, young.
Yeah. And I'm not saying, he's going to be 30, he's going to be old, he's going to be on the backside. I'm just saying there's only so many more opportunities because there's a flock of guys coming up behind him too, right? It's not just the 2 or 3.
I'm a huge fan of Cobolli, and I've been guilty of maybe underestimating him. Love the way he plays. I think when he can get away with that, you know, certain patterns, he becomes really hard, you know, and I think there's only a select group of people that can take away his bread and butter. I don't know, like he comes and loses as defending champion 3rd round next year. I don't think with the way that he goes about his business, he's not flashy. He doesn't need to be a shot maker. You know, the meat and potatoes of his game, like the backhand's not going anywhere. Like the serve is going to age very well. It's a simple motion with a huge result. The forehand's only going to get freer. Like, I think he's going to keep putting up volume statistics. Will he win another one? I don't know. And that's not for this day. Not for this day. Doesn't matter. If he wins 2, fantastic. Is he going to win 6? Probably not.
Yeah.
Who cares? His mission at 18 may have been that. Life fucking happens, man. You get knocked down. I didn't think we'd end this show with a Chumbawamba. You get knocked down, you get up again.
We'll have a full recap. We're waiting on JW to finish up, and he'll join us.
And we'll go through the full 2 weeks. You know, it's been a long time since we've talked about younger Cerundolo and Kwame and a bunch of the stars. Gia shitting his pants. It's been a long time. Thank you for tuning in for the last 2 weeks. We're going to shoot the recap right now. It'll be out on Tuesday. Crazy ass tournament. Crazy ass final.
It was awesome.
And it was a different look. Personally, I enjoyed it. I do want to see Sinner and Alcaraz in full flight again, but this was a fun departure. Like, it was different. It like, as soon as Sinner lost, we all kind of like leaned forward for every match because you felt like you could be watching the potential winner of a tournament. It doesn't always feel that way, even in the quarters. You know, props to Alex Zverev. Listen, any of the narratives, forever and a day, Grand Slam champion, and well deserved. This one was that was a tough one to get across the finish line, but pass fail, man, he did it. Thanks for watching Quick Serve, brought to you by ServiceNow. We'll see you at the recap show. AI is only as powerful as the platform it's built on. With the ServiceNow AI platform, your AI, data, and workflows all work together, connecting every corner of your business. To see how you can put AI to work for people, visit servicenow.com/AI-agents.